Welcome back to The Richest Man in Babylon Explained. Last time we left off at Chapter 2, which is titled The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm going to be breaking down Chapter 2 into two parts because there's so many valuable lessons to take from this chapter alone that I can't do it justice in one video. So anyways, let's dive in. At the end of Chapter 1, we're introduced to Arcad, and Arcad is known as the richest man in Babylon. At the beginning of Chapter 2, a bunch of his old friends who are less fortunate than him have come to ask him about how he became as wealthy and successful as he is today. So when they're talking to him, they tell him things like, "You are more fortunate than us. You became the richest man in Babylon while we struggle for existence. You can wear fine clothes and enjoy the rarest foods, while we must be content if we can clothe our families in clothes that are barely presentable and feed them as best as we can. Yet, once we were equal. We studied under the same master. We played in the same games. And in neither the studies nor the games did you outshine us. And in the years since, you have been no more an honorable citizen than us. You haven't worked harder or more faithfully as far as we can judge. Then why is it that fate singled you out to enjoy all the good things of life and ignore us who are equally deserving?" Arcad thought about it for a while, and then he responds, "If you have not acquired more than a bare existence in the years since we were youths, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or else you do not observe them. Fate is a vicious goddess who brings no permanent good to anyone. On the contrary, she brings ruin to almost every man upon whom she showers unearned gold." There are two major lessons to take away from this part of the chapter. The first lesson is to take responsibility for your life. Arcad's friends all thought that because he wasn't better than them in anything since childhood, that they were all equally deserving of good fortune and prosperity. They believed that it is because of his luck that he became so wealthy, and you can sense the resentment in how they say this to him as well, when they say, "Then why is it that fate singled you out to enjoy all the good things of life and ignore us who are equally deserving?" But Arcad's response is even better. Just to reiterate, his response is, "If you have not acquired more than a bare existence in the years since we were youths, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or else you do not observe them." What he's saying is, number one, you haven't learned how to build wealth, and number two, there is no one else to blame. You are not a victim. You have the power to change your circumstances. This is really powerful because had Arcad blamed anything else but his friends for their own misfortune, he would have been reinforcing their victim mentality and victim thinking, and that would further demoralize them by making them believe that they cannot change their circumstance. By telling them that they simply haven't learned how money works, he has actually given them hope that they too can learn how to build wealth and a prosperous life for themselves and their families. The second major lesson is luck is not a reliable strategy for success. Arcad says, "Fate is a vicious goddess who brings no permanent good to anyone. On the contrary, she brings ruin to almost every man upon whom she showers unearned gold." This is the biggest misconception that most people have, that they aren't successful or wealthy in life because they're not lucky enough. Arcad is removing the element of luck from the wealth building process, and in doing so, yet again, he's helping his friends overcome their victim thinking. After this, Arcad tells his friends the story of how he learned to build wealth. Young Arcad was working as a clay tablet scribe. One day, a man called Algamish came by and said that he wanted a copy of the ninth law in 2 days, and if the job was done, he would give Arcad 2 copper coins. 2 days later, the job was not done, and Algamish was not impressed. Arcad said, "Algamish, you're a rich man. If you tell me the secret to becoming rich, I'll work all night and create these tablets for you by tomorrow morning." Algamish agreed. Arcad worked all night long and got the tablets ready by the next morning. When Algamish came to pick them up, Arkad asked him to reveal his secret. Algamish said, "I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep." And that left Arkad confused, and he retorted, "But all I earn is mine to keep, is it not?" Algamish responded with, "Far from it. Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not pay the garment maker? Do you not pay for things you eat? Can you live in Babylon without spending? What have you to show for your past month, for your past year? Fool, you pay everyone but yourself. You labor for others. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. It should be no less than a tenth, no matter how little you earn. Pay yourself first." Now I want to stop here because I want to unpack and explain what Algamish just said. There are three major lessons to learn here. Lesson number one, you labor for others. Here's what he means when he says this. When Algamish asks Arkad, "What have you to show for your past month, your past year?" what he's asking him is, how much money do you have saved up from working for the past month or the past year? The reason this is important is that if Arkad hasn't saved anything, then he has been working to pay other people. This is called living paycheck to paycheck. You watch money come into your account, and just as easily you watch it fly away from you. If you spend everything you earn, you are like Arkad, who goes to work so he can pay other people. That's what Algamish means by you labor for others. Now, of course, we can't live without spending. We have to pay rent, buy groceries, clothes, all that good stuff. So the solution is not to stop spending, but it is to save a part of what you earn. And that's lesson number two. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Algamish recommends that we save at least 10% of the income that we make and operate on 90% of our total income. The third major lesson here is to pay yourself first. Most people prioritize their bills, their credit cards, mortgages, etc. above themselves. And then they wonder why their wealth never grows. Because it's easy to do, right? Whenever the end of the month comes around, we're all looking at our expenses and figuring out how much do we need to pay whom. The mistake that most of us make is that we think whatever is left over is mine. It's a reasonable thought, but the problem with it is that by doing so, you are treating yourself and your personal wealth as an afterthought. You are not focusing on it. The correct way to do it is, before you figure out what bills to pay, put aside 10% of your income for yourself. Now with the remaining 90%, go ahead and split it up into bills, rent, and all your other expenses. Getting back to our story, Arkad listened to Algamish's advice and decided to try it. Each time he was paid, he hid away a tenth of his income. And to his surprise, he wasn't particularly short of money. He noticed little difference as he managed to get along without it. A year later, Algamish came to Arkad to ask him if he had saved any money. Arkad proudly said yes, and Algamish was happy, and he asked, "What did you do with it?" Now this is where Arkad made his first mistake in building his wealth, and I will tell you exactly what his mistake was in the next part of this video. I hope you enjoyed the lessons in this video, and I hope you're enjoying learning more about this book, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching.